Today's lecture is about the orthogonal groups over K. There are several characteristics of orthogonal groups. Okay, so the orthogonal group over K. These are the definitions. Okay, like this first part is very important. Qn of K is equal to A belonging to Gln of K, where inner product of xa comma y is equal to nothing but inner product of x comma y for all x comma y belonging to Kn. Now here my Qn of k is denoted by On. If my Kn of k is denoted by this, then it is called orthogonal group for k is equal to R, and called orthogonal group for k is equal to R. So Qn of k is denoted by, if my Qn of k is denoted by Un, U of n, and is called unitary group k is equal to C. C is what? Complex. R is what? Real. Then Qn of k is denoted by Sp of n and is called symplectic group for k is equal to H. H is my quaternion. So this definition is very important, especially the first part is very important. I will be proving one proof based on this. So next, turn the page. Okay. So show that Qn of k is a subgroup of Gln of k. Now what I have to show that my Qn of k is a subgroup of Gln of k. Solution is what? Let a comma b belongs to Qn of k. So I will say my a comma b belongs to Qn of k and x comma y belongs to Kn. Then inner product of xa comma ya is equal to x comma y. In the previous this thing, inner product of xa, this definition, inner product of xa comma y is equal to x comma y. So this definition you have to apply here. Yeah, right here. So xa comma y is equal to inner product of x comma y, and inner product of xb comma yb is equal to inner product of x comma y. Now what we have to do is, I have to combine a and b. So inner product of x, ab I'll put in one bracket, comma y, ab in one bracket is equal to inner product of xa, I will take it as 1 in the bracket, and b I will put it outside. Same way here also, y, b, inner product of this. Then I will remove the b, so is equal, this is equal to what? Inner product of xa comma ya has b belongs to Qn of k. Now this is equal to what? Inner product of x comma y has a belongs to Qn of k. Thus what I will get is, thus AB belongs to Qn of k. My AB belongs to Qn of k. Next I have to show that my A inverse belongs to Qn of k. So next, let A belongs to Qn of k. Now I have to show that my A inverse belongs to Qn of k. Here we have showed that AB belongs to Qn of k. Okay. Next I will be showing this, right? So A inverse belongs to Qn of k. So since A belongs to Qn of k implies A belongs to Gln of k, which implies there exists P such that AB is equal to I. Now inner product of x comma y is equal to inner product of xi comma yi. Now this is equal to what? I is nothing but A inverse of A. So this is equal to inner product of x. I is what? A inverse A. Comma y, same. I write it as it is. Inner product, close it. Then this is equal to x. Keep this as 1. X A inverse. Take A outside. And then y inverse. Take A outside here also. And this is equal to inner product of A inverse comma y A inverse. Same the definition I have applied. As A belongs to Qn of k. Now what is my AB is equal to I, right? So that's what I have used here. So finally we proved that A inverse belongs to Qn of k. Here is the remark. First is the element of Qn of k for k is equal to R, C and H. R is real, C is complex, H is Hamilton, are called orthogonal, unitary and symplectic matrices respectively. For R we call it orthogonal, for this Qn of k, and C we call it as unitary, H it is symplectic matrices respectively. Okay, and this is denoted by like A star is equal to A bar transpose for A belonging to Mn of k. So we denote this for this thing, A belongs to Mn of k. This is the remark which you all have to take. Next is the proposition. For A belonging to Gln of k, the following are equivalent. First is A belongs to Qn of k. Taking this, I have to prove the second one. Then taking the second, I have to prove the third. And taking the third, I have to prove the fourth. Okay. So first, A belongs to Qn of k. Second is Ra preserves orthonormal basis. That is, if x1, x2 up to xn is an orthonormal basis of Kn, then so is Ra of x, comma, up to Ra of xn. Then third is the rows of A form an orthonormal basis of Kn. And the fourth is A into A star is equal to I. I have to prove this all. So using first, I will be proving second, and then first let me prove using first one, I'll prove the second one. So let me prove that this implies this. So first implies 2, okay. So first note that lambda 1 x1 plus up to plus lambda and xn is equal to 0. Now it is implying in both the way. So lambda 1 x1 a, I will add a now, plus up to plus lambda and xn a is equal to 0. Now in the previous definitions you all know that my x1 of a, I can write it as Ra of x1, right? So lambda 1 Ra of x1 plus up to plus lambda and Ra of xn is equal to 0. After this step, what I am going to write is, so that x1, x2 up to xn is linearly independent. Now this you do because so that this x1, x2 up to xn is linearly independent. Okay. If and only if Ra of x1 comma up to Ra of xn is linearly independent. Now this set is linearly independent if and only if this is linearly independent. Okay. Then you all have to note that array of x1 comma up to comma array of xn are n linearly independent vectors. So these are what? N linearly independent vectors in Kn, and hence is a basis of Kn. Next, A belongs to Qn of k. A belongs to Qn of k implies in both the way inner product of xa comma ya. Now this is the definitions which I have already given you all. If I write inner product of xa comma ya is equal to nothing but inner product of x comma y. Now this implies, now this I can write in terms of array of x. Xa I can write it as array of x. In the previous chapters also I have done this. So meaning this how I got this array of x because of the definition. Xa I can write it as array of x comma this I will write it as array of y is equal to inner product of x comma y. So that inner product of xi comma xj is equal to delta ij. Now this implies what? Inner product of array of xi comma array of xj is equal to delta ij. Okay, so instead of x was there, so I will put xi, and here y instead of y I will put yj. Xj, array of xi comma array of xj, I will write this in terms of this xi xj, which is equal to nothing but delta ij, and this proves 1 implies 2. Next, okay, now I will be proving, taking the second one, I will be proving the third part. Okay, so 2 implies 3. I have to show that 2 implies 3. Now what is my 2? Array preserves orthonormal basis, that is, if x1, x2 up to xn is orthonormal basis of Kn, then so is array of x1 up to array of xn. And then third is what? After taking this, I have to prove this. The rows of A forms an orthonormal basis of Kn. So let us prove. Now recall that A is equal to array of E1 up to array of En. But this set E1, E2 up to En is orthonormal basis of Kn. Thus by 2 I can write it as array of E1 up to array of En is an orthonormal basis. So this proves the third part, okay? So I am writing this as array of E1, array of E2 up to array of En. So after this, I will be proving that, taking the third part, I will be proving the fourth. Now A star ij is equal to row of I into column j of A star. So row I of A, write it as it is. Now A star is what? A bar transpose, right? So I will make this as row j of A bar transpose. Now this is equal to inner product of row I of A comma row j of A, and this proves that this is nothing but your I. So we proved that 3 implies 4. Now finally I will be doing 3 implies 1, that is this. Now this 3 is implying this 1 I will do. So if rows of A are orthonormal, then for all x is equal to x1 up to xn, okay, now this set x is equal to x1, x2 up to xn, and this y is equal to y1, y2 up to yn, and it belongs to Kn. This set belongs to Kn. Now inner product of array of x comma array of y is equal to, now this I will write it as xa comma ya. Now this is equal to what? Now this is xa part, this the inner product of this, okay, xa part comma this is my ya part, okay, this. So first let me write xa part. Summation of inner product of summation of L is equal to 1 to n xl al comma summation of L is equal to 1 to n xl al to comma up to summation of L is equal to 1 to n xl aln, okay, comma bracket comma then this y part, ya part here. Summation of s is equal to 1 to n ys s as 1 comma up to summation of s is equal to 1 n up to n 1 to n. So ys asn bracket, and then you have to put, this is the inner product, okay, this comma this, and then what you'll have to do is you'll have to take this summation common. This is same, no, summation and xl. So take it in this and then put al1, al2 up to aln in one bracket. Then comma, same thing for this one also. Sum of s is equal to 1 to n ys and then as1 up to asn, okay. Next part is, now this is equal to summation of L is equal to 1 to n xl. Now this I will write it as row L of A, row L of A, and comma this summation of s is equal to 1 to n ys, and this I can write it as row S of A. Next is what? Summation of L comma S is equal to 1 to n xl row L of A comma row S of A, inner product of this, and this I will take it outside xl and ys bar from this bracket. So I will write this sum as this. Sum has 1 L comma S and then inner product of this, okay. Now this is equal to what? L comma S is equal to 1 to n xl, and this is nothing but delta ls into y bar s, this, because of 3. We have already done this part. So now this is equal to what? This I will write it as x1 y1 bar plus up to xn yn bar. As rho delta s is equal to ls is equal to 0, val is not equal to s. So therefore this is equal to what? X comma inner product of x comma y. So therefore we proved this proposition also, and here okay, next is my okay, so this is the example. In this example we'll show that for A belonging to M2 of C complex, rho 2 of rho 2 of A star is equal to rho 2 of A star outside. Okay, so let A is equal to, let me take my A, this matrix has this is 2 into 2 matrix, right? It belongs to M2 of C. So A1 plus BI1 B1I, A2 plus B2I, A3 plus B3I, A4 plus B4I. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll take this part. Rho 2 of A star is equal to rho 2, keep it outside, take A. A star is what? Nothing but A bar transpose. Okay. A star is nothing but A bar transpose, right? So that's what I have done over here. So A1 minus BI, A3 minus B3I. So this will be interchanging, right? So this I have to write in horizontal way. This will come here and this will come here, okay? So but minus sign you all have to put. A1 minus B1I, A3 minus B3I, A2 minus B3I, A4 minus B4I. So I have done it this. A star is equal to nothing but A bar transpose. So now rho 2 of this is this entire matrix is what? Is equal to this 4 into 4 matrix. So this is A1 minus B1, B1, A1. Similar way you have to do it for A3, A2 over here, this part, and then this B4 part, okay? On other hand, you all have rho 2 of A outside the bracket, that is star. So what is my rho 2 of A? First let me do rho 2 of A. So rho 2 of A is nothing but A1 B1 minus B1 A1. So A2 B2 minus B2 A2 A3 B3 minus B3 A3 A4 A4 minus B4 A4. So basically this entire matrix is star, meaning A star, something star is what? Is equal to A bar transpose, right? So bar transpose. So this and this will be as it is. Yeah, minus sign will change, yeah, definitely. But this columns will be interchanged, like this will come here and this will come here, okay? So this is equal to A1 minus B1, B1 A1, A3 minus B3. So same thing like over here also will get, after solving this part, as A star is equal to A bar transpose using this. And then finally I will get rho 2 of A star is equal to rho 2 of A star here, this. So finally we have proved. The next lecture I will be proving more theorems, more proofs, and that will be on unitary groups, maybe orthogonal groups, or and etc. I will be proving. So this is my today's lecture. I'll end up here only. This lecture I'm going to end up here only. So thanks for watching. If you all have not understood anything, you all can comment. If you want to explain me something, any topic which I have not understood in this, I can explain it again. Okay, thanks for watching.